Hello everyone, welcome back to Pixie Blue. Today I'm going to do a Jessie J tutorial. We promised to do this a while ago and we just didn't get around to it. I'm going to start off by putting some moisturiser on. This is on Embryolisse. I'll put a link in the description box for those of you that find it hard to get this one. Oh, I should have put my hair out of the way. Okay, I'll do that in a second. I'll just put my moisturiser on. I'm going to use a Louise Young brush just to put that on. The reason I use a brush to put my moisturiser on is that when I go to put my foundation on with the same brush, the moisturiser will just help my brush not to absorb so much of my foundation, and it will just help the foundation to go on without streaking. So I straightened my hair especially for this video. I never straighten my hair. Hate my hair straight, but I've done it especially for you guys. Get a bit more of a feel for it. The foundation I'm going to use is, where is it? Here it is. MAC Studio Fix Fluid. Now this is not a foundation I would ever wear. The reason I am using this one is because it is a kind of foundation that Jessie J would wear. Now this is kind of a medium to full coverage foundation. It's brilliant for an oily skin, but there's a few things you should know. This oxidizes massively, so what I'm looking at here is an NW15 foundation. It actually looks like an NC30 in the bottle because it oxidizes a lot. So when you put it on your skin, you may need to go for one shade lighter to accommodate for that. It's probably to do with the powder particles in it, but just a warning. And I'm again applying it with my Louise Young foundation brush. Looks a bit like plaster. As I said, it's not the kind of foundation I would go for, but that doesn't mean it's not the kind of foundation that you would go for. You know, we all have different skin, and I realise that, you know, Nick and I use a lot of products that accommodate our skin, but not necessarily everybody. So if you have an oily skin, you might want to check this one out. Straight over the lid. You have to work quite quickly with this foundation because it does set. It's similar to the Matte Lumiere from Chanel. You need to work as quickly as you can because it will set completely matte, which is great for artists like Jessie J who are going to be on stage because it gets very hot up there. You don't really often see Jessie J's eyebrows because they're kind of hidden under her fringe, but what I have seen is that they don't have a lot of colour on them. They're quite natural, so what I'm going to do is just brush my brows through and put a little bit of brow set on them. The brow set I'm going to use is the Bobbi Brown one that's got a little bit of colour through, so it will even my brows out a little bit, so, because my brows are a bit sparse. This one is called Natural Brow Shaper, and it looks like that. I'm going to use Becca Baroque Eye Tint across the lid just as a primer, so that our eyeshadow has something to stick to, because when we're using such dark shadows we don't want them moving around so much, especially not if you're on stage. I'm not sure how big Jessie J is in the US or other countries. She's pretty massive here at the moment, and I'm hoping that she's going to be big worldwide because we love in her. And she also is a subscriber of our channel, so we'll give her a bit of love, a bit of extra love. I love that eyeshadow just on its own. It's really beautiful. It's very subtle. It's for those that want quite a natural look, but we're using it as a primer today. So we're using two colours on the lid, two eyeshadows. I've got here Electra and Blacktied. Usually I hate Electra, but when it's mixed with a bit of black I don't hate it so much. So silver and black. 239 brush from MAC. Straight in with our Blacktied, and we're going to work that. Push it along the lash line all the way across. So it's a very simple look because she pretty much wears just black across the lids. Now the reason that we put a primer on, or the reason I put a primer on, is one, to stop our eyeshadow from moving around and creasing, but two, there's an additional reason. Because I'm using Blacktied, which has shimmer in it, sometimes you find that that shimmer doesn't show up, but if you put a base underneath, you'll be able to keep a lot more of that sparkle on the lid. I know this is a bit messy, but if I zoom in you might be able to see. Then again, you might not. That's probably out of focus. Let's try there. You might be able to see a little bit more of the sparkle will stay put on the lid if you've got a primer underneath. There you go. Okay, so we'll carry on with this. Keep applying your black over the top and over the top, just so it doesn't look patchy. And we're going to take this up to our socket line, which is the point at where our eye creases, in case anyone was wondering. I know a lot of you will already know these things because we've been through it before, but we get new subscribers every day. So sometimes it's always good to point out the obvious. 217, we're just going to blend these edges, make them a little softer. You don't have to take your blending brush the whole way across the lid. That's not necessary. That doesn't need blending. It's only the edge that needs blending. So don't make it more complicated for yourself. I'll zoom for you. Focus, thank you. So you can see we've kept a lot more of that shimmer on the lid by putting the Beckerite in underneath. I'll do this one eye before I go on to the other one because I just like doing it that way. Now I'm going to take this black, same brush, all the way underneath the eye. We're just going to connect that up. We're just going to connect this line all the way up here to this. And I'm just going to blend this out just a tiny bit so we get a bit more of a point. Not too much. So we're using Smoulder from MAC Black Eyeliner. Kohl, we're going to put that all the way in. So run it all the way along the lash line. If you have the Avon Super Shock, now's your time to use that. This would be perfect in there. Anything really inky black. And underneath the eye too. Okay, I'm going to do the other eye. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, now on to Electra from MAC, which is a silver. As I said, I usually hate this kind of colour, but I think it works okay when you're using a black. And I'm just going to put that on the inside corner. And blend it in a little. Mascara, I'll use my Becca Ultimate Mascara because that's just the one I'm using at the moment. I love this mascara. I'm not going to curl my lashes because I'm going to put lashes on. Whenever I see her, she always has false eyelashes on, so I'm using these. These are from Ilia. They are double lashes, and if I show you, the reason they're called double lashes is because, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Basically, they're almost like two sets of lashes stuck together. They're very full on. Personally, I would wear this makeup like this, but without the lashes, but you know, this is a Jessie J look, so let's do it the way that she does it. Like a dude, apparently. If you can, try not to get glue on your eyelid like I just did. Whoops. Just get rid of that glue. The cotton bud while it's wet. There we go, all gone. On the bottom lashes, obviously I'm going to use my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. Under the eyes, I'm going to use a little bit of Warm Ivory concealer from Bobbi Brown, which is quite light, certainly lighter than my skin tone. I'm using a 224 brush. I'm going to set this, whoops, powder all over my jeans. I'm going to set this makeup using Laura Mercier Translucent powder. This is completely white pretty much, because we want to keep it as pale as we can. I never see Jessie J wear anything on her cheeks whatsoever. She wears a black lipstick, so I have black lip mix. I think this is the best one, to be honest. You get so much in there, so it lasts forever. You need hardly anything, and although it does stain, it doesn't feel very uncomfortable and dry on the lips. So I probably do still prefer the MAC lip mix to OCC lip tart. Although the OCC lip tart are fantastic, don't get me wrong, they are fabulous. I do still probably prefer these ones. If you want a more wearable look, you can go for something like this. This is a Tom Ford lipstick. The colour, I think this is Black Orchid. So you could use that instead. But I'm going to go true to Jessie J and go for a black lip. Let me zoom in. The eyes are really wearable. I mean, you know, obviously it's a lot of makeup and it's quite a strong eye, but they're definitely wearable with a lighter lip. But I like the way she wears it. She definitely has her own style. And no Jessie J look is complete without a fringe. I just scared Nick because I just put this fringe on and I went downstairs and I said, Nick, I think I made a big mistake cutting my fringe. What do you think? And she was like, ah, fringes are not good on me. Anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.